Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Zappy here, back again with Hunter x Hunter. We are on episode 25, and in the last episode, things ended quite abruptly. I don't think there's any real sort of full arc of going to, deal with all of the family members of the Zoldyck family to get to Killua anymore, because, basically Killua has been set free by his father. There was little sort of father-son conversation in the last episode that sort of give you the feeling that he's a nice man and all of that, but I fucking fail to think so because he's got some other plans in mind for Killua later on, I'm sure. So I'm pretty sure that's not he's not just a nicey father and that's it done. But he's allowed him to go and meet with his friends. So hopefully they meet up sometime this episode. But yeah, other than that, we've got some backstory on Canary, so yeah, there's that. I don't know if Canary's gonna be joining the crew. I feel like maybe not. I feel like she's fine. She's done her. I mean, well, I don't know. I think because of the way things have gone down, she'll still have a job as a butler there, so I think she'll be fine. But I don't think she's probably going to join the crew. I think it's still going to be the main four. And that's it. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about, so we're just going to get in this episode and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 25, right? I believe that is the end of the first, real arc. I mean, after the exam arc, I'm thinking this is just an extension on that, really. That's completely based upon the fact that episode 26, the next episode, is a recap episode. So I feel like the start of something brand new. It's like the official start of a new arc. Next episode 27, I'd imagine, right? So I would probably just say that these last sort of 4 episodes were just on the back end of the examination arc and kind of fit into that. So yeah. But cool. So the silhouettes of the Zoldyck family. I said at the pretty much at the beginning of the reaction. I don't know if I'll make it in there or not. But there's 3 Zoldyck members unaccounted for that we haven't seen yet. So there's the girl, or what I assume is the little sister or whatever that Killua is holding hands with, and then Now, I can't remember. I know one of them is at least one of them is a great grandmother or grandfather. I don't know if they both are. Basically, there's the little sister, there's either the great grandmother / grandfather, whichever one it is, and then I'm pretty sure there's a grandmother, I think. So I guess the great would be the great grandfather, and I'm guessing that's the little fucking Stewie fucking rugby ball head. I'm guessing. So they're basically going to count for, which we haven't seen yet. So I'm guessing we'll get to them later on down the line. They love fucking silhouettes in this show, because they did it in the opening of the exam arc, pretty much all the way through, where it showed you the examiners, and it was hunters, right? It showed you the silhouette for them, showed you the silhouette for the Zoldyck family, and then it's showing you the silhouette for the Phantom Troupe as well, which is which is great. I kind of want. I don't know if it's. I mean, it's not really going to help me. I've got it up here. In my head, I was wondering if I should keep a screenshot of it and then just open it up every time, just in case we come across a character that is one. It's interesting though. From left to right, we've got the left guy who looks like a suave kind of guy. Looks like he's got one of those fucking haircuts that's kind of swept over a bit, so he's probably full of himself. There's a little girl, the one that I'm instantly most afraid of, because I feel like in anime that little girls they just have the most power for some reason, you know what I mean? The scary ones. Yeah, you got a guy with boxing gloves on, a random dude, a girl with a massive gun. She's going to be hot as hell, guaranteed. There's a woman with like what looks to be a vacuum cleaner, like a fucking, I don't know what the fuck that's all about. The guy in the middle, which I must be the leader, right? The guy next to him, who's clearly all muscle. Interesting. The guy next to him looks a bit like Satoto. He's, the silhouette almost looks like he's got a bell end on top of his head. That was basically the end of a penis. For those of you that don't know that expression. The guy next to him, who's going to be a weird guy by the looks of him, he's like a bit like lanky and obviously very skinny. The girl, sorry, next to him looks like to be a bit of a cookie kind of. I can see her being like a psychopath, like from MHA. What the fuck's her name? It's not coming to my fucking head right now. You know the one. The one that's like got like knives and like fucking sucks blood through fucking him, like you know what I mean? You know who I'm talking about. She's gonna be like that. I feel like with a messy sort of hair and stuff. I feel like that's what she's gonna be like. Next to her, we've got guys whose arms for days, and then next to him is like another kind of random dude. So yeah, I was thinking like if I should have like a screenshot, and then like anytime that a character pops up, it's not going to be like a surprise thing. But then I was thinking, nah, fuck it. You know what I mean? It's too much work, and it's probably just better off me like getting a surprise. I'll have a mental image, and then if every single character that like pops up wants to, like wanting to talk to Gon or Kurapika or anything like that, then I'll just look back at this and be like, huh. You know what I mean? See if my mental image can do it. But then between days of recording this, that kind of shit can just leave my mind and memory, But there are a few there that I'll remember. You know what I mean? I'll fucking remember. So yeah, there's that. Where are we? Yeah, I mentioned in the reaction like the sort of love for the potential over the love of the child. Like it's not a family. It's so weird. It's so weird because the family dynamic is a mixture between like. It's clearly just love for building up a child to be a killer machine, essentially, right? It's not like love for the child. You don't really have love for the family, really. It's not what it seems like, anyway. But then you have like the butlers, which do sort of. I feel like the butlers almost like that's their job. It's obviously not their official job, but like they kind of fill in that role of being like loving family members in a way, Whereas the actual family members are all just like meh, whatever. I don't think they care. So yeah, it's a bit weird. One thing I actually did want to pick up on that I forgot to talk about in the last episode was fucking what's her name? Kaluto. When they mentioned friendship, she like kind of went, friendship? And I did say like it wouldn't surprise me if she's like actually an older sister as opposed to a younger one. She just looks young. But her sort of intrigue in a way, like it's something that Killua wanted, yet I think with Kaluto maybe she grew up not even thinking about it, and now the thought of it maybe might be intriguing her a bit. I might be wrong. But I just wanted to talk about that just a slight bit because I forgot about it last episode. And then I wrote down despise this butler, and with Goto, right? And then by the end I had to just take it back because obviously he was just being because I can't fucking tell like I don't understand like what love has he got for Mo? I felt like he was all over the place. It was like he couldn't forgive them for like getting on the mother's bad side because they want to take Killua away. But then by extension of that, he got annoyed because it was taking Killua away from him. And then specifically, you see, I can't. All right, I was just thinking there. I was about to say like, I feel like it was annoying because I felt like Goto was only saying certain things for the audience and not for character motivation. You know what I mean? Which I feel like as a like as a storytelling function, annoys me when like a character will say something not to progress any character motivation for the characters actually in it, but only for the sake of the viewer watching, right? And I don't like it when it becomes meta like that, because it's not supposed to. You're not supposed to have information that is only is strictly and exclusively only for you, like only the viewer, like that. Because as a storytelling perspective, that's the wrong way to go about it. That should only be done through narrators, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much it. It shouldn't be done by characters. So that annoys me. But then, like I said, that's what I was originally going to say. But then I was thinking that maybe what he was actually doing was because he apologized to Killua, right? And I think he was apologizing to Killua because he said as soon as they get here, he'll let them stay. And I think that's what he was apologizing for. So yeah, so I'll not say that. So it wasn't strictly for the audience. It was basically him apologizing to Killua because he wasn't going to send them to him straight away. So yeah, he was basically testing them away, and testing them to see if they were worthy of, taking them away. Like basically allowing them to go along with these, with these kids. And I think that was apparent, like after he did the last coin flick, and he basically did the deception thing. It's basically, setting up the idea that he could have done it at any time, and fucked him over if he was going to, and doing it for his own sake. But because he didn't do that in the whole game, it basically does show that he was just testing them. So it makes sense. So yeah, I love the fact by the Gon cutting his fucking eyelid so that it would reduce the swelling, allowing him to see out of the other eye, so he had more of a chance in the game. I love that. Like, that's the kind of shit that, like, the little details that make, like, a show great. Instead of just doing things obvious, because you could have easily, right? The show could have easily just had Gon be sort of overpowered in that scenario, and just allow him to use the one eye to see what he was doing, and nobody would have asked any questions. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone watching the show, if he'd only done it with one eye, would have went, but hold on a second, no one would have done it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that, like, you don't know you would miss if they'd never, like, if they'd never done it, but because he actually went and done it to I love stuff like that. I love the little details of stuff that they add in that they don't have to, but they do it for, just to kind of fatten up the show in a way. I don't know how else to describe it than just like give it more meat. Like there's just more to it than just straight up everything. Like the minimal stuff. It's like you add stuff on that you don't have to, and it makes it all that much better. So yeah, that was cool. Gon basically saying that he'll only use his license once he gives Hisoka the tag back. So he's basically set this like sort of limit on himself, like this whole thing of like, all right, I'm not going to do this until I've done this. When he was saying it, I was like, why are you doing this, Gon? Why? What's the point? You know what I mean? But in a way, I can almost say it as like he is specifically putting this off. It's almost like, it's strange. I kind of want to put it back to when he had that conversation with Satots, right? And at the end, like the last time we saw Satots, right? And he basically explained that like this isn't even the end of the examination arc, like the examination yet. The only problem with that is I don't see how Satots could have known that, unless Gon told him like, I'm not going to use this until I've done that one thing. You know what I mean? He clearly says like I almost spilt it. I almost spilt it to Gon, basically saying that this isn't the end of the examination yet, and I don't know where that still lies. Like I don't know where he says that like this isn't the end of the examination yet, and I'm kind of feeling like I don't know where that goes now, because I thought it might have something. It has to have something to do with him going after Killua, right? But now they've done that. And I feel like with with the recap episode coming up next episode, I feel like that's the end of the arc. So I don't know where the rest of the examination comes from that he was saying that there was one. I don't know. But regardless, back to the point, because I went off on a little tangent there. It's like him setting up. It's almost like in Gon's mind, the examination isn't over yet. It's almost like he's unofficially kept the hunter license as a goal, and in order to get it, he has to deal with Hisoka first. So it kind of keeps him on that path. It's like, this is my set goal. As long as I, if I basically keep my hunter license out of just basically, it's not going to happen until I've taken care of Hisoka. Then it gives him more motivation because it keeps him focused on that path. So I think that's the way he's looking at it, because then otherwise I don't understand what's the point. It literally has to be that, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. It's like, you might as well just, it has to be, his focus has to clearly lie on that. So I think that's the reason why he's doing it. York New City. Fucking hell. Oh, the imagination is top quality. Fucking York New City. I guess it doesn't matter in the end. I mean, you've got Meteor City, so it's not like, they're not coming up with fresh new names of stuff that we've never heard before. It's just is what it is, right? Crazy. But yeah, so that was the thing that Hisoka was telling Kurapika about, what he whispered in his ear. It's like, I've got information on the Phantom Troupe. I don't know where he got the information from, how he got it. We know that Hisoka was sort of communicating with Illumi throughout the exam arc, so I don't know if Illumi got some information at some point. Who knows? But yeah, at some point Hisoka found that out. It's interesting. I don't know why. There was always a thing in the examination arc where I feel like Kurapika wasn't at the forefront of Hisoka's mind as much as Leorio and Gon were. I think that's specifically due to the fact that the first time they actually fought, they didn't really fight, but their first sort of confrontation between Gon, Leo, and Hisoka, Kurapika was not there. He ran off and then came back after it all finished up, and it's like, oh, hi guys, I'm back, which is a bit strange in of itself. And it almost felt like Hisoka and Kurapika, that was, it didn't feel as, I don't know why I got that feel. I don't know why I feel like Hisoka never really sought out Kurapika. I feel like there might be more with them too, maybe. I'm trying to remember back to when they actually talked, because the first time they initially actually had any real thing between them, talking or communication, whatever, was when Kurapika left the tag in the tree and allowed him to have it. I don't think there was anything that they really said there. The thing that's really thrown me off is the fact that Kurapika ran away that first confrontation and turned up after it had finished. Almost coincidental kind of thing. And it just makes me think that is there something more between them two? Because let's say that, this is the first time that they didn't know of each other, right? In the exam. And that was the first time that obviously Hisoka would look at Kurapika and see potential in him as well, right? But I don't know. I didn't see it as That's what's throwing me off. It's like the way that Kurapika sort of talked with Hisoka in that exam when he gave him the tag and stuff. I don't know. It just between them, it just seems like they've almost like they have like talked with each other before. You know, I may be completely wrong. It seems weird because I don't know why Hisoka would like pick him out and be like, by the way, Phantom Troupe and York New City. You know what I mean? The only thing I can really think of other than that is the fact that because Hisoka is the way that he is basically sending them on a path where they can basically become their full potential, right? And obviously Kurapika's is to go and take out the Phantom Troupe. Like, that's his path. Like, once he takes out all them, like, that's the path that he needs to go down to fulfill his potential. So unless, like, it's just a case of, like, maybe that's Hisoka's thing. Maybe that is Hisoka's role in this whole show, is just to be the guide. Like, he's the one that makes sure that our main characters fulfill their potential. He, like, sets them down that path. Maybe that's his role in this. Because his whole goal in the end is basically just he wants them to get to their full potential and then kill them, right? That's his thing. So maybe that's it then. Maybe that's it. I might be just thinking too much about it and thinking like, oh yeah, Kurapika and Hisoka have seen each other before and they know of each other. And because I don't think during the exam there was never a moment there was never a moment where, like, a visual cue or anything, right, of Hisoka like finding out about the Phantom Troupe or anything. I'm pretty sure. The only thing I remember it even being brought up really, like out in full view, was when they were in Trick Tower, and that fucking guy had the fake tattoo on his back. But Hisoka would not have any way to see that, right? So I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I don't think Kurapika and Hisoka knew about each other, because now that I'm thinking about it, because Kurapika in this episode talked to the group and he was basically saying unless he like listened in and stuff like that. So he was talking about that. So I don't think so, because I don't think there's any reason for him to lie about his connection with Hisoka if he did have one. So I don't think they did. Yeah, the more that I think about it, the more that I'm thinking that Hisoka's literally just the guide and he's just guiding them down the path of potential. I think that's it. So yeah, but yeah, they're splitting up now anyway, regardless. Kurapika said he's going out to seek out a patron to become a hunter. So is that, I remember like slightly there was something that Satoru and Gon were talking about. Satoru was like, you go to some place or whatever and give them this and then you officially become a hunter, right? I think there was something like that. So that must be what this is then, when Kurapika says you need to go seek out a patron. So that's kind of odd then, because they were saying like, why don't you just use your license exam? Your license ID. Like your hunter. Why don't you just use your hunter's license to get into the like country? You know what I mean? As opposed to getting a visa to get there, like a tourist visa. So I wonder. Because it is a bit weird, like they were given like a specific license and they do have it, but I guess in order to become an official one you need to go and hand it in and do something with it. I don't know. But yeah, regardless, they're splitting up anyway. So I don't know when they come back up, like, and meet back up again. We'll just have to wait and see about that, because I don't think there's anything to really tell us when that would happen. But anyway, yeah, we've got a slight look at the possible power levels and the like differences between the characters. So this is something I've been wanting for like quite a bit now, because I want to sort of get an idea as like how powerful people are in relation to each other. Because then once I've got that, like when I've got individual like power levels of like some main characters, then just because of the nature of like, you know, how people are, like can you know beat this guy or they're on par with this guy, eventually it all start adding up, and like it becomes much easier to figure out exactly where people lie on like the sort of like power scale, right? So Hisoka at the top, obviously. I mean, this is between 4 guys, so it's not exactly a lot of characters, but it's something at least. Interestingly, even though Killua kept it very vague, and even the wording of things that he would say, like, oh, I'm being generous. So, in Killua's mind, Gon is, like, nowhere fucking near anybody. Like, even, like, you know, Hanzo and so, even though we saw with Hanzo anyway. But to be that far is nuts. It's crazy. And he said he was being generous. And then he put himself, which was actually, you know, under Hanzo. I would say he was probably like maybe a meter off of Hanzo, so you know, quite a decent amount. Which it's mad to think like that is interesting. That is interesting that he would. I mean, he even said he was being humble. So again, vague. You don't really particularly know the concrete there, but it's interesting that he puts like, you know, Hanzo, like, clearly. I remember like him at like the beginning and like some like throughout the exam, and I was like, you know what I mean, like he's like being a bit comedy, like comedy relief and stuff, and you know, clearly underestimated him because he's fucking put pretty high up on people's lists, you know. So yeah, it's interesting. And then even after all that, he said it's like, well, depending on how high like people's power gets, like the more they're able to like, you know, suppress it, and like you can't tell, so it can be fucking anywhere. So it was very vague, but at least we got something. And yeah, Gon and Killua are now heading to somewhere called Heaven's Arena, where they can train plus get paid. So I mean, it's, I don't know. I mean, if it's an arena, I'd imagine training like you're fighting other people and like you get paid for it is like entertainment value kind of thing. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's all I've got for episode 25. So yeah, cool. Next episode we'll go straight to episode 27 because 26 is a recap. So yeah, that is all. But thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've linked certain things. One of them is the Discord. If you want any information regarding my content, you can get yourself over there. And you can also come talk to me in the community as well, and Patreon. So over Patreon, if you do want to support me, that would be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access for $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunt x Hunt every week as well. It's 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday. $10 a month, that is the full length. That gives you access to my full length library. Everything I actually gets a full length. $15, the exclusive tier. That gives you access to a bonus show that I'm currently watching, which is 7 Deadly Sins. Elite tier, $50. Every time you pay $50, you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It will go to the bottom of the list by around 7 shows. Might take me a while to get round to it, but I will do eventually. But if you don't want to wait that long and you want your show to be reacted to next, and you want to get God tier, which is $100. But that is all. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.